Getting the channel up and running real quick, guys. Oh man. What's up, Whiskey? John, how you doing, guys? Oh man. So exhausted. Let's see. Yeah, no, I've had a extremely long day. I woke up to getting here at the shop and doing what I normally do. Come in and start doing what I got to do, and uh, I was actually waiting for some paperwork to come through because we had switched electricity firms here at the shop, and so in doing so, I had the paperwork here, and I honestly just it got sidetracked. So the guy come in said, "Hey man, they're sending me to shut off your electricity. You need to pay your bill." And I'm like, "Get on it right now." He's like, "I'll give you a couple hours before I do." And I was like, "Man, I really appreciate that." So I was like, "Okay, cool, thank you." That's a huge thank you. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't even have to come inside, and I really appreciate him for doing that. Uh, so as I was about to do that, the phone rings, and it's the hospital. And my mom had gotten admitted to the ER last night, and we're just now finding out about it this morning. About eight something from a nurse who at the hospital, was trying to get some more information about my mom and stuff like that. And, they gave her my number. So she called me, which I'm grateful that she did the due diligence to follow through. So she said that she came in incoherent. They believed that she had a minor heart attack, and but that she was responsive and that she was actually reacting well to um, the treatments that she was getting or whatever, but they needed to find out exactly what was going on. I finally was able to, after my VA appointment, head over there and talk to the doctor. Well, not talk to the doctor, but talk to the nurse and the physician assistant, I guess, who it was what his name was or his title. And came out that it wasn't a heart attack, but that she had several minor heart attacks before. They were able to show that has happened, and but they said that they were worried about brain injuries or something going on with the brain, and it came out that no, her brain activity is normal. She's good to go there, but they needed to find out why she was incoherent, and or having these pains. So they're going to run some tests on her and stuff like that. And my mom's 68 or 69, something like that. Um, but yeah, my little brother beat me to the hospital. Um, him and my sister-in-law were there and stuff like that. And So I spent some time with my mom there, but again, too, I had to come back over here to make the delivery that I needed to get out, so that way I can make it back to the bank to make the deposits to have money for the weekend. You know what I mean? Obviously, paying out all this money for all the supplies and everything to keep the shop running. And we make it all the way back with 15 minutes to spare, and the bank was closed. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. So, um, yeah, but luckily I was able to pay my light bill to keep it on before I left this morning to my VA appointment, and to hit on that. And then, it's just, also hearing about the shooting at the high school, uh, where three kids were shot by a kid with a revolver after and taking his own life. So definitely prayers going out to those families. Uh, I know some people are kind of upset that uh, the school shootings weren't getting the same amount of coverage as Kurt. And I told them not to take away from that, because at any given time, if I hear of a school here in our area is under fire, I'm taking off and I'm going to go lend a helping hand. I don't care whose kid it is. Like, they need our protection, hands down. But to answer that question the best way I could was to let them know, well, the difference between the school shooting and this one was live. He was live on hundreds of people's social media when it happened. So that was an explosion of horrific news immediately. Whereas a school shooting, it happened and the phone calls had to be made, and the word of mouth had to get around, basically, kind of deal. But again, too, the amount of news that was going out at the same time this was going was just, it was horrible. Yesterday was a horrific day. And then today's 9/11. I still know what I was doing on 9/11. I know exactly where I was, like what I was doing. I was actually getting glasses. So that way I could upgrade my score from sharpshooter to expert. Well, actually, I was a sharpshooter there for one time, and then I found out those like 5 or 6 extra points that I needed was what would help me get my next promotion. So I set up to go back to the rifle range, but I knew that my sight, if I could hopefully get my sight better, then I would do that. So I got glasses, and or I got a newer pair of glasses, because mine were like scratched to hell. And so right when I had put them on, that's when I saw that the first aircraft had already hit, and there was multiple service members around the TV in the common area there, and they were talking about an aircraft had hit one of the twin towers. I was like, "What do you mean hit?" They're like, "Yeah, they say it was an accident." I'm like, "That's BS. Like, the twin towers are so huge." I said, "This was an attack." They go, "No, it wasn't. You can't be saying that." And I was like, "Dude, this is an attack." I said, "What the hell is that second plane?" And when I said that, like, everybody looked up to the screen, because we were kind of talking amongst ourselves. And then second plane hits, and I was like, "God," I said, "we're going to war." I said, "I got to go report." And they kind of just looked at each other. They didn't even know what to say or do. I took off running. Like, I knew it was an attack. Like, I immediately knew that. So by the time I got to from the hospital to my command center, or to my command, not the command center, um, they had already started calling everybody into formation for a briefing of what the plans were to go into uh, the security lockdown for the base. What of our next orders were, as each squad or uh, duty section, what jobs they were going to be, like, which ones were on, which ones were off. Like, we went into immediate, on, high alert. You know what I mean? And so, uh, and then shortly after, we heard about the Pentagon, and like the reports just kept coming in. So we were in high alert. It ticked me off though. They wanted us to protect all this hundreds of millions of dollars of military grade equipment with no weapons. They didn't issue not a single rifle to our division at all. Like, we had bomb dumps, we had missile racks, we had gun racks, ammunition packs, we had cads and apes, we have like all this military grade surplus in our division that we were in charge of, but they didn't issue a single weapon. And so I told them, I'm gonna be honest, guys, like, if they come in shooting, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we're they're gonna kill us, and we're gonna try to go hand to hand against guns. Like, the only way that's gonna have any kind of effect is if you're up close and personal with them, and you have a fighting chance to go hand to hand. Other than that, from a distance, you're seeking shelter, and there's not much shelter where we were at, kind of deal. So, yeah, pretty crazy. Um, when I started talking about 9/11 at the beginning of this video, I had that moment of silence, and you're hearing more and more of all these attacks that are happening. And, for me, like I said, this is going back to that feeling I told you I had months ago. Like, actually, probably been about a year now. No, it can't be a year. Whiskey, actually, I've had a lot of discussions with whiskey. Whiskey probably would be able to tell you about the time frame that, like, I was already talking about how I was feeling, but I hadn't been able to cross that bridge, to start doing what I needed to do to get some kind of protection for me and my family. Uh, but whiskey, has a better time frame on that. But uh, it's just, again, just looking out for each other, keeping your head on a swivel. Like, be aware of your surroundings, guys. Um, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, whiskey, John, who else is on here? Let's see. Kruger, Daniel Garcia, Chris Schultz. Man, I missed a lot of y'all. I was working on top of roof, installing some refrigeration pipes for a unit in Dallas PD, credit unions. All the skies, airplanes went quiet. Wow. Yeah, I do remember where they were putting out that all aircrafts were grounded. Like, you needed to divert or whatever. Like, all planes were like just landing as soon as they could get out of the sky, kind of deal. And I do remember all of that. Uh, Pedro, now just kind of giving a moment of silence for September 11th. Never forgetting how many lives were lost that day. Um, just talking about the school shootings that also happened yesterday. I heard of another shooting today, um, at a naval academy. Um, and then, with Kirk yesterday, that is, wow, it's gut wrenching. Like I said, there's just, you know, one of the things that he was asked, if he were to pass away, what would be one of the things that he would want people to know about him? And, he talked about being a good Christian man, and to know that he was doing God's work. And so today I was actually having a talk with one of my new workers. Um, and the words he was using were not, like, he wasn't trying to mean disrespect. He was just trying to figure a way to put the words. And And one of them, he said, you're a god, you're a master of this. And I said, no, I may be a master of this, but I'm not a god. I said, there's only one God. And he goes, no, but you're a god. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I am a master of my castle here, yes, but I'm not a god. I said, I will never, ever claim that title. There's only one God, and he's the man above. And I kneel before him in humility and humbleness and prayer, and he goes, but I am. You're right. I am a master of my castle. This is my castle. And he goes, no. He goes, okay. He goes, now you're right. You're right. So I get what you're saying on that. And I said, it's not about being right, boss. It's just about owning what our Lord has given us, and going and following that path. And I will never. I'm a sinner. I am a sinner, but I do know that I have a place in our Lord's flock, and I pray one day that I'm called up to go protect heaven's gates. I will stand firm. Uh, but till then, it's my duty to protect my family and those around me, and if I have the ability to do so, I will. And then it's been pretty crazy, guys. It really has been. You know, you just never know what to expect. I saw another shooting at a Target. Now, granted, I will never set foot in Target again for after with what they were trying to do with little boys in the clothing line, and I will never set foot into another Target. Like, I will not. Um, I have a big problem with forcing this kind of demonic thinking and ways of living on our children. So, uh, Navy pilot got out flying for AA tarmac LAX 911. Left his bird. Said asked for a ride to San Diego. Ex-Army drove him to San Diego, and Bert retread back into the Navy and went to war. Wow. Yep. See, and I remember a few months ago, a pastor was talking about. I don't know if it was a pastor, but he just came off as a pastor. Was talking about that a preacher or a son of God would be hit, and it would be the changing, or it would be the start of a revival for Christ. And seeing what happened to Kurt yesterday, and just kind of following up and seeing the demons celebrating in this horrific event, and then also seeing those that were lost at one time are now seeing the light in ours, switching their way of thinking and seeing the way they have been thinking was wrong, and or the group that they are with is in the wrong place. It's a horrific way to um, it's always hard to find the silver lining in things. You know what I mean? Something like this so horrific can happen, and to find the silver lining in it is going to be a test of your faith. I see a lot of people angry and hurt. I'm angry. Oh, I am angry. I'm hurt as well. But I know I've got to put my faith in our Father upstairs, that he has a plan for us. And I will follow him to the depths and the darknesses, even if I am alone. But I will take his light with me, knowing I was put here to take a stand, and I have no problem taking a stand, especially if it's to stand against demons or bullies or whatever it may be in order to protect my family, my friends, and that's where I stand, guys. I don't know if I am venting pretty deep or dark with y'all, and I just wanted to let y'all know where my thoughts are right now. Because again, when you're at your lowest point in life, you'll find out who's willing to be there for you or with you to help lift you up. And I did send out some messages earlier, got some feedback from some. And again, like I said in those texts, man, my phone line's always open, guys. Call me if you ever just need somebody to talk to vent to. I'm definitely here. You know what I mean? If at least if I can hear you and you can talk to somebody that may be able to just lend a helping ear or get a little uh, clarity or a second opinion or something, my phone line's always open, guys. Wow. That's pretty awesome, Whiskey. Whiskey sharing a story of an Army pilot that left AA to go back into to reenlist into the Army since he was a pilot. Wow. And that's the biggest thing right there, guys. I want to always push. We have the ability to do great harm. We really do. A lot of us have been trained, have the skills to go out and really do some damage if we wanted to. But again, too, it's not. I repeat, it's not our responsibility to punish or to go out and seek judgment on others. That's God's. Now, to defend against these attacks and stuff like that, yes, by all means, give them, if they need the introduction to meet their maker, by all means, you know what I mean? Protect you and your family without any second thought, guys. But again, too, do not go out and seek retribution. Do not go out and seek to hurt people out of anger or out of your pain or out of anything. Seek our God's love above and know He's got a plan for us. Ask Him to guide you, to light your path. Because right now we are all in a dark place. Seek His light. Seek His light in your life. Through the pain, through the hurt, through the darkness, guys. He will light it. No matter how dark you may think, how alone you may feel, you are not. We will be brought together by the light. So, yeah. So I was seeing of a Patriots riders we're getting together up in Utah to do a drive. Wear American flags, deck them out, and stuff like that in honor and remembrance of Charlie. I wanted to do something like that here in Corpus. You know, drive Ocean Drive. You know, flying flags and just show the honor and respect. Even if I'm alone out there, I'll still do it. Well, just to give you all a heads up, I'm over here bending the wires for my 2 ounce surf weights. We have to build 60 of them for one of our tackle shops, the bait buckets. Yeah. What's up, bucket? I might be going this week. I need actually. Well, it all depends. I did get a hold of some shark baits. I've got Kauno Stingray here at the shop, and I mean I've got some monsters. Let me let me show you all this over here real quick. I'll move this around over here real quick. Yeah, this is a 15 cubic foot chest freezer, and we've been having a lot of gear getting made. But that's a 1, 2, 3. That gives you an idea. This is a 15 cubic foot freezer, and I think we measured that Kaunos the other day, and it's 2.5 feet across. That gives you an idea how big these Kaunos are. I got 30 of them, guys. They're massive, massive Kaunos. I've got a few smaller ones in there, but not too many. And then that freezer's full of carp. And then I got mullet. Got fresh mullet. And the deal about mullet or any kind of fish, look at that eyeball. Super clear. That's what you want to look. When you look at bait, look how clear those eyes are. Yep. So I got mullets, finger mullets, and uh, I was hearing some kind of knocking or something there, but yeah. So yeah, we got big Kaunos, guys. They are massive, massive, massive Kaunos. And again, too, I think that one is bigger than that one because the wing is actually folded up this way. Like, yeah. So I got Kaunos. I got some Kaunos. I've got an order for another 150 of them. But it's gonna be it's gonna be something else. Yeah. No sardines. We don't sell sardines in our shop. It's not a bait that really sells for us. That's more of an offshore bait right there. Um, yeah. Oh, Hatteras. Which Hatteras? In North Carolina, Cape Hatteras. Mm-mm-mm. Now, so if y'all saw the video last night where I was live with Sharkotic, he's doing a 300,000 subscriber giveaway here pretty soon. He's going to be using the comments off of his video. So go to his channel, check it out, uh, and do what he's asking about commenting. I caught a part of it because last night I was walking back and forth trying to get my gear in line where it needed to go and stuff like that. So I didn't catch it all, but I do know he's doing some pretty big giveaways, so don't miss out on that. Uh, so I even got my hands on some snapper as well too. So I was thinking about doing some fried collars off the snapper as well. That's pretty good. That's some good eating. Also, too, definitely keep Jack of Leatherworks and his family in our prayers. I know they're going through some trials and tribulations right now with the hospital and his family, so definitely keep them in our prayers. Uh, I'm definitely taking it one day at a time. You know, actually, I need to find out what time they're gonna stop. I know they uh, uh, I'm checking to see what time they stop visitation. I want to think it's like 8 or 9. So I might just like after I drop off my kids at school tomorrow, just go stop by the hospital in the morning before I come to work. Um, See how my mom's doing and stuff like that. If I'm not able to go tonight, I stopped by earlier, to go see her, spend some time, as I said, but I had to get my orders done to get all of that. And then even after doing all of that, the bank was closed early. I don't know what was going on, why it was closed earlier, but that really sucked. I think they were without power because even when they're closed, it'll say open or close, and you didn't even see any power. So I'm thinking they may have been without power. That's why they closed. So I don't know, but that sucked. So, however, building a rod, building tool, 24-inch long grip, have a long reaming tool, it's never been done. A 24-inch hyperlong reaming tool? I know. I'll be honest with you, Whiskey. I have no idea about any kind of tools for rod building. Um, yeah. I can't be sure. There ain't nothing wrong with just chilling by the water, having a line in there. And there's been so many times that I've been out at the pier and just got all my lines out. Nothing is happening, but just the waves crashing, the birds conking, calling, whatever you want to call it, and just sitting there and just enjoying being out there. You know what I mean? It is definitely a way of uh, finding some inner peace. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So, how many of y'all are here in or near Corpus Christi that are on my channel, guys. Because like I said, what I'd like to do is do a show of support and solidarity uh, for the and show support of the Kirk movement. I mean, um, like I said, I've never met the guy, but I definitely want to show my support and to show that there's a right and a wrong way to do things, and they definitely show the wrong way, and I want to show them the right way. You know what I mean? You know, I have driven across our old harbor bridge thousands and thousands of times, and I have seen an occasional runner here, occasional walker here and there. But I've been across the new bridge probably about a dozen times now, and I'm seeing 50 to 100 people almost every single time walking across the New Harbor Bridge, or running, or riding a bike, or scooters and stuff like that. Like now, it's kind of a tourist attraction kind of deal, and I can understand why. I mean, that walk area is huge. Like it's like 10 to 12 feet wide. Whereas the old Harbor Bridge, it was tight. It was real tight. It was tight, like 3 foot, 4 foot. Uh, but yeah, no, it definitely we'll have to set something up like that pretty soon to go do it again. Uh, I don't know, maybe something like that, or vehicles draped with flags and driving down Ocean Drive. You know what I mean? I think it'd be pretty awesome. Luciano, what's up, boss? How you doing? Hmm. The FBI are going to have a news conference in a few minutes. Let's see. Let's see what on like. Let's see. Where do you know where they're going to have it at, Dave? Uh, let's see. I'm checking up FBI uh, press conference. CNN. Go. Fox. Um, I see the one on Fox News. They're just standing by the podium. They haven't really said anything. Uh, I'll leave it there, but I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick, guys. Give me just a second.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Emily Kilmer. I'm the Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. This evening, we have FBI Director himself, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as, I'm so sorry, Commissioner, Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor, we'll kick it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now, show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned up in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see that the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag. It appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grass area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. You want to go to the stills? So here's the still photographs I mentioned. These have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. Go to the next picture, please. The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again, the t-shirt, blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out. We'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward. Thank you, and I'll turn time back over to the other comments.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mason. I want to thank Director Patel and his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings and had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here. We have all of our local chiefs of police that are here as well, all working hand in hand with the state and with the FBI as we move forward with this investigation. Now, just to give you a little more, we will not be taking any questions at this time. We're giving you the latest information we have, being as transparent with everything that we have. But I do want to share a couple of things that I think are important. We cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action so far. We've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. I would just note that the FBI hasn't received this many digital media tips from the public since the Boston Marathon bombing. This case also highlights the dedication of our law enforcement community. We have 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners that are working shoulder to shoulder to find the person who committed this horrific crime. With their support, we've completed nearly 200 interviews. As you're aware, as has already been reported, the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips. We are processing. We have an incredible team, a state and federal team working together to process those tips. We are going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects, but we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public, should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or at tips.fbi.gov. This is, I would just say, this is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I will just add as well that, as was mentioned, there is a lot of forensic evidence that is being processed right now at both the state lab and the federal labs, federal lab on the East Coast. So we are working in tandem together. I would also just add a word of note for those people who are spending so much time on social media. I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well. What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and spend a little more time with our families. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. More than anything, we are going to catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. Again, to the public, to those who are grieving, thank you for your prayers. I know we are feeling those prayers. I know the Kirk family is feeling those prayers as well. We pray that God will bless our nation at this very dark time. We can start healing by finding this perpetrator and holding him accountable, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Uh, yeah, Leonard, I heard about the rate increases on about 17 different items. Um, and what's crazier too is now the amount of news coverage that the desal plant is getting for, failure to go through, and they are spreading a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear mongering going on right now, saying that all these companies are going to leave Corpus Christi because we don't have no water. And that, you know what? There's a lot of other alternatives out there that are being sourced out that are a lot cheaper and a lot safer than what they were planning to do to the bay. Like, again, this would have been a horrific industrial. We would have became an industrial waste zone. That's where we would have been. If that desal plant would have gotten into place, we would have became an industrial waste land. It is so crazy that these people just don't care. They're doing everything they can to push it on the fact that, oh, it was perfectly safe, it was perfectly this, no, sir-ree, nope. MB, said it was a 30 cal old rifle. Only saw that the video once, but it sounded suppressed for sure. So they said it was a 30-06 bolt action rifle, is what I heard, that they recovered from the scene. They also recovered ammunition that was all engraved with hateful rhetoric on each projectile itself, or on the casing, which is crazy. Like, again, guys, uh, freedom of speech is what we all signed up for as a military vet. You know what I mean? But we were also signed up to protect against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And that's where these people need to realize is, like, again, again, like I stated earlier, before we even saw what they were talking about not going out and trying to get retribution or trying to hurt other people. And we're all hurting. We're all angry. We're all at a loss. And by going out and hurting other people because they disagree with what you're saying is not the way that you're going to heal yourself. Now, again, don't think for a second if any one of those gentlemen or cowards come at me and my family that I will not, that I'm going to sit there and stand by idle. I have zero problems wearing an orange jumpsuit. If somebody comes and tries to hurt me and my family, I will not ask, I may ask them to stop and to back the hell away, or to stop, but they ain't going to get much more warning than that, depending on how aggressive they are coming at me or my family. I'll be honest. Like I said, guys, like any father would protect his own, his family, his friends, or whatever. If at any given time I'm met with any kind of hostilities towards my family, I'm not laughing at the situation. I am just knowing that I will not hold back, guys. Sorry. I joined the military to stop bullies across the world, and I will stop them here too. Have no problem. Okay, so I have not heard about a firearm right to the right side of Charlie, but I do know I saw the video. Um, one of the early of the like within minutes of him being shot, where they pieced it together, and it's a close up. Like somebody's probably 10, 15 feet away from where Charlie is at, and when he gets hit, he gets pushed back, and then he slumps over. And in that process of him coming back and coming forward, you see his whole chest compressed. His shirt gets ruffled up. The mic at which he was on this side of his deal is one of those the magnetic ones. They have a backing on the backside, and then it sticks to the front. That's the mic he had on this side. And when it hits him, and he jerks back this way. I'm hearing some other ones where they're saying the shot comes from his right, which is not, because if he would have been came from his right, he would not have gone back like this. He would have came back like this. So again, you gotta pay attention to what happens as he's hit, what his body does and how it reacts. So from the angle which he was at off this way, where the bullet came from, at that distance, if they didn't, you know, uh, account for the drop in the 200-yard shot, you know what I mean? They could have been aiming for a headshot, and with their inexperience, that the bullet dropped that much at that distance, you know what I mean? And that's why he got hit in the neck instead of in the face somewhere. It is even more horrific to think that and to know that his family was there in the crowd. Like they were there. I can't imagine the amount of trouble. I'm gonna let this play because it's got a lot of truth.
Yeah. This one's for the ones who kept going. When the world said no. Feel me? Let's go. I came from the bottom, no silver, no gold. Just a heart in my chest and a dream I could hold. They laughed when I started, said you'll never win. But I trained in the dark just to fight in the ring. Early in the morning, late in the night. Pain in my bones, but my soul stayed tight. Every scar that I got, that's a badge, that's proof that I bled for this life just to stand in the truth. Don't quit no matter how deep it gets. Rain or fire, I ain't drown, I ain't sweat. Push through the doubt, yeah, I climb when I slip. Fall 7 times, stand up on it. Grit, don't quit, grit, don't quit. This is heart, this is soul, this is blood, this is grit. Grit, don't quit, grit, don't quit. If you wanna go and get it, never fold, never flinch. Oh, 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 oh. I see things fade like smoke in the wind, but mine stayed alive, kept the fire with them. Told fear, get back, told doubt, not today. I broke every chain that stood in my way. It ain't love, it's grind, it's tears in the dirt. It's working through the hurt when it physically hurts. When you let kids out, but your heart say run. That's the moment you know that the battle's been won. Don't quit no matter how deep it gets. Rain on fire, I ain't drown, I ain't sweat. Push through the doubt, yeah. Stand up on the 8-bit. Quit, don't quit, nah, quit, don't quit. This is hard, this is slow, this is blood, this is grit. Quit, don't quit, nah, quit, don't quit. If you want it, go and get it. Never fold, never flinch. I ain't built for the easy, I was made for the storm. When the pressure hit hard, I was forged, I was formed. Every loss, every lesson, turn the weak to the wise. Now I rise with the fire of a phoenix in my eyes. Quit, don't quit, quit, don't quit. Say it loud one time so the pain can stay. Quit, don't quit, quit, don't quit. This is you, this is now, so go make it legit. Before you try to change the world.
Yeah, whiskey. Yeah, as soon as I saw the placement of that bullet and what happened, I knew pretty much instantly that it was over for him. And you know, and as soon as too, like I saw the amount of damage and everything, like it just from the impact of everything that follows with the impact of the projectile. I knew it was a rifle, a high powered rifle. And I knew it was close. It wasn't a far, you know what I mean? And then everybody in the crowd all turned in one direction. They didn't look like this. They turned back and looked up. I didn't see that other video that you're talking about the that other weapon they're claiming on using that they used. Um, but I did see a video where they were that the FBI was talking about that the projectile that they pulled matched the ammunition that was up on the building up there with the same etching or hate rhetoric that was on the bullets themselves. Yeah. Yep. Exactly right there, whiskey. I did hear that it was that there were hollow points. I don't know if in long range weapons like that. Like I'm not a shooter by far. Don't get quoting me. I'm saying what I heard. Is that even possible for a long range rifle like that? So Chris Schultz. Haven't heard nothing back from my brother. I'm checking something real quick, guys. So, trying to pull up a photo. I want to put up, see if I can print it though. There it goes. Nope, that's not what I want. I'm saying I found a picture that I want to print out. Let's see. I want to do this while I'm live real quick before I get sidetracked. Come on, open up. Come on. Computer is slow right now. Roger that. Thing is not moving. What is going on here? My computer is really, really slow right now, guys. Trying to get this to work. Let's see if it'll come up in time. Give it a few minutes because I'm about to toss this computer out the window. Though my shop doesn't have a window, it'll go through the door. Let's see. I almost went for Chinese today, but then I ended up getting a taco instead. Uh, like I said, I had to go run and go see my mom and stuff like that. And working on all this is craziness. I mean, um, that, and I also saw the video of the young woman that was attacked as well, and who it's amazing. You know, I honestly feel that if they can hold bartenders accountable for the amount of drinks they serve somebody, and they leave the bar and they go and kill somebody or something like that, if they're able to hold bartenders to that same accord, they should be able to hold these judges who allow these criminals off or out, who go out and do more horrific crimes. They need to be held accountable and get the same punishment as those criminals who went out and created this, because They are an accessory to making this happen. And I honestly feel they need to be held to the same punishment that those criminals get for whatever act they commit after they've been released by whatever judge that was released them. I honestly feel that. You know, um, see, and actually, I've got a good buddy of mine. He's actually a long distance competition shooter. Uh, yeah, yeah, definitely. The can on there can be traced. I mean, unless it was stolen or homemade or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Amen to that, Daniel. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, guys. And be sure to include a prayer for the hurt that you're feeling, and also to the Kirk family as well. This is, I can't even imagine what they are going through right now. I mean, it's amazing. It does not want to allow me. Mm, sweet and sour. I like me some Hunan shrimp with some rice noodles on top. There was one restaurant outside the base of Cherry Point, North Carolina, that had a Hunan or a shrimp lo mein is what it was. It was shrimp lo mein, and it was like $8 for the plate. But that plate, I could eat on it and like 2 or 3 servings out of it. It was amazing. And if you got the Hunan plate like or the shrimp lo mein, they you could also get the crab wontons. Ooh, they were so good. Really, really good. Come on, why is it not pulling up? This is really, really annoying me. Oh, come on. I made some kind of movement there. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, without a doubt, it has been. Let's see. I might get it. I might get it. Hold on. second. That's what's going on. Yes, I think I finally got it. I think I got it. Hold on. I gotta do something real quick, guys. Give me just a second. Yeah, definitely, but I think y'all might want to see this. Give me a second. Ooh, I almost nailed it. Give me a second. I'm almost got this one.